Welcome to Righteous Life, my friends, and today is my very first podcast, so welcome. And I decided to just let this be from the heart and not totally scripted, although I do have some bullet points, and I hope you'll bear with me and enjoy this and take something away from this podcast. And it's about implementing positive changes in your life if you currently are unhappy or having some major issues. So, a lot of us wonder what happened to the person that we once were. And I have a lot of friends or family that ask me that, but that person is always there. It's always been there. It's just that maybe you gave up on your dreams and didn't pursue your goals, and you're allowing yourself to sit on the sidelines as a spectator. Well, it's your responsibility to resurrect that soul, and that's exactly what I did. I made it a priority because I wanted it so badly. And that's the bottom line. You will do the same thing. If you want something badly enough, you want to have a better life, you will make positive changes a priority. And some people ask, well, how do you take control of your life when it's so unhappy? I feel so boxed in. I feel frozen. Well, my friends, I was in the same boat. And I had convinced myself that it would be too difficult and it's too painful and scary to implement any changes. But you have to ask yourself this question. Just close your eyes for a moment for me and ask yourself this question. How could improving your life be any more challenging or frightening than the life you're currently living? When you wake up every day, you are having to address all these demands and hurdles. I mean, do you wake up every day kind of going through a mental checklist of items you would change if you were able to? Or perhaps you're in a long-term job that makes you miserable. And you know who you are because you find yourself self-consciously driving to work in the morning under the speed limit because you dread the workday. Somehow you think this will prolong the agony. Well, guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to arrive at that workplace and you will continue to that destination until you take control. Change your mindset. Or perhaps you're in a controlling relationship and your days are structured and accounted for by your spouse. Your schedule is not your own. You wish just one morning you could wake up leisurely on your own accord and devour your bowl of Fruit Loops in your underwear with the blinds open, not caring what your nosy neighbors think. In fact, let them peek. Friends, I was one of those people. I was in an unhappy relationship. And just one day, I was completely deflated. And my heart was so sad. And I just decided I must do something. And I told that negative voice to take a flying leap, and it was time for me to pull myself up by the bootstraps. And I asked myself, am I willing to live the remainder of my life, remainder of my years in this environment, and not live life as intended? And the simple answer was no. I finally realized how hungry I was to regain my identity, my happiness, and become a whole person again. God didn't place us on this planet to live under another's foot. Again, I wanted it badly enough, so I made it a priority. And as a result of this controlling relationship, I was left with zero self-esteem, tons of self-doubt, and I was convinced basically that I was a loser. Everything that happened around me, if it was negative, whether somebody was angry or something broke, I was convinced it was my fault. It was my doing. So with the help of some counseling, I progressed greatly. And don't be afraid to ask for help. It's okay. And it's funny, it was the opposite way of how I lived the first half of my life. And things just happened. It just changed so quickly. But I would tell you, folks, I never lost faith. Never, ever lost faith that I could be restored. And you must develop that mentality, and you have to put up a shield refusing to allow anyone or anything to penetrate it, because once you allow that to happen, you're back to square one. All those negative thoughts come back. You can't allow that to happen. And whether you're influenced by, other people, gossiping, judging you, well, the key is not to give a rat's butt, because that's all toxic, sucking life out of your garbage. And once you make the conscious decision and you start implementing these changes, you start embracing it. You just have to change your mindset and don't deviate from it. And because I did that, my life is a whole lot different. I've moved on. I healed. I have a great partner in my life. He is my best friend and very kind and loving, respectful. And that is just simply the way I choose to live my life. And we've gotten involved in the obstacle course racing, Spartan racing, and it's just accented our happiness together. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it, and it's very possible. And no, it is definitely not easy. It doesn't happen overnight, and you are going to have some major hurdles and wondering if you made the right decision. But you will know if you have, and when your heart changes and you want to be happy. And I just want to share with you a really profound statement that helped me along on my journey, and it's a true story. It was from a young man who was unable to walk. His legs were severely deformed, and he was being interviewed during his physical therapy session. And as he was navigating his way along the parallel bars, which was very clearly demanding every ounce of strength out of this body of his, the interviewer asked the young man, what motivates you? How do you stay so focused and positive and keep moving forward? And his emphatic response was, life is meant to be lived and not saved. Life is meant to be lived and not saved. And he replied with such great confidence and in a terse manner that clearly revealed that this was absolutely his belief. And it was so strong that it enabled him to overcome these physical hurdles. He did not use them for an excuse or let them negatively impact his life. He just decided nothing was going to hold him back. So, you see, guys, in the end, this young man was not handicapped at all. But so many of us allow ourselves, with our mindset and the negativity, to continue on in an unhappy life and never escape it. And life is such a glorious gift, and it needs to be treated as such. So I highly encourage you, if you are in an unhappy situation, please be aggressive about implementing positive changes. And it has changed my life completely. And I hope you got something out of this podcast today, and thank you for listening.